When we first get tinnitus and are going through a crisis with it, we can feel incredibly vulnerable. And I really want to encourage you to use your common sense to do what's best for looking after yourself. There are lots of things that can help tinnitus, and there will be certain things that are much more relevant to you than others. So, for example, at the beginning, if you've just recently got tinnitus and you're freaking out, I really encourage you to find helpful, kind, caring support that you can get from counselling, psychotherapy, body-based therapists. This can create a sense of safety around you, and it can build up a support network that can help you start to ease, settle, focus, and come back into relationship with a sense of safety. The bottom line with tinnitus is fear and threat and overwhelm, and when you come back into a sense of safety, feeling on top of things and feeling calm and relaxed, then it becomes more manageable. A lot of people, when they are in a desperate state, they will latch onto something and they think, oh my God, if I don't do this, I won't get better. I must fast. I must do craniosacral therapy. I must do anything to get better. It can give us this really intense, needy, clingy quality at the beginning. And it's very important to not forget your sense of common sense, that certain people will find certain kinds of therapies much better than others. And for some people, going to a yoga training and having craniosacral therapy will work wonders, like it did for me. For other people, going on a program of sort of managing your diet, starting to gently do some fasting or using cold showers, that might be really helpful for you. But please be wary of grasping onto these things urgently, because you can get into this space where you just feel if you don't do it, you're not going to get better, and that's not the case. It's very, very important for you to try things out gently, ease into them. I think building up your support network around you is very helpful, so you have a safe person to go to who can help drop you into a state of calm, or a lovely class where you can learn to self-soothe. That's really helpful, and it can help your nervous system settle. And I think learning what tinnitus is, what helps it back off, can be very comforting. You don't need to suddenly do a very intensive fasting program or immerse yourself in freezing cold water every day, or do 10 hours of yoga a week, or feel you have to do everything under the sun to stop tinnitus. You can't possibly do everything. There are so many different things that help. So my advice is to very gently, you can try things out, but quite quickly stay with the things that help you feel calm, safe, and relaxed. You need to keep things manageable. If you find yourself grasping and walking around the supermarket of what will help my tinnitus and just filling it up with everything, and oh my God, if I don't do this, I'm not going to get better. You just need to take a breath and step back, use your common sense, ask yourself, what do I feel I need that's going to help me feel calm, safe, relaxed? What's going to help me take my mind off the tinnitus and help me settle into a state of well-being? I don't need to do everything. I don't have to follow other people's advice. Some advice may be very helpful, but just gently, calmly, in a safe, manageable way. As regards fasting, I do think you need to be in a good place to do fasting. I'm really well these days, and I've let go of my tinnitus. I've had a lot of therapy. I do quite a lot of body work, and I have managed to fast successfully sometimes. But if I'm dealing with difficulty, I find it harder to fast. So things like fasting, I think we need to be fairly robust. We need to be in a fairly good place to do it. And I really recommend easing into it gently. Maybe just, if you check it out with your doctor, make sure that you're in a fit state to fast. You will need to, if you're diabetic, you'll need to see your doctor about this. Do check it out first with your doctor. And I would just very gently maybe do the 5-2 fasting, where you maybe have one meal a day, twice a week. This is not full-on fasting, it's semi-fasting. So you're just delaying the time you're eating gently, and having lunch, say, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're just having your one meal at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The BBC documentary Horizon, I think it's called Eat Less, Live Longer, something like that. It's very, very good. It's very clear. It's very helpful. And I think it's the safest way of fasting. As for more extreme forms of fasting, then just please pace yourself. If you move on to water fasting, where you're just having water for a day or two, I think it's something to build into gently. And once you're in a really, really good space with fasting, it's like a muscle that you develop, then you may be able to go into brief periods of dry fasting, but I think you really need to get medical advice first around that. It's a more extreme way of fasting, and I personally think if we're dealing with a stress-related symptom, always remember that you don't want to tax your system too much. You don't want to push yourself too much. You want to gently ease into calming, soothing things. And fasting is something that can be another string to your bow. It can be very useful, and you need to be in a good place to start using this technique too. Once you've got used to it, you will then be able to do it quite successfully. But just go gently is my advice.